Imagine waking up every morning feeling paralyzed by stress, anxiety, and the overwhelming weight of trying to manage everything and everyone around you. That's exactly where Mel Robbins found herself at age 41. She was $800,000 in debt, unemployed, and stuck in a cycle of avoiding responsibility, hitting the snooze button on life, and blaming others for her struggles. But in one simple moment, a seemingly silly idea of counting down 5-4-3-2-1, like a NASA rocket launch, her life started to change. She didn't overthink or second-guess. She just acted. That small step forward created a ripple effect, pulling her out of her lowest point and inspiring millions of others through her viral TEDx talk and best-selling books like The 5-Second Rule. Fast forward to today, and Mel introduces us to another life-changing tool, the Let Them theory. This book isn't just about surviving tough times. It's about thriving by letting go of the need to control others. The premise is simple but profound. 2 little words, let them, can transform how we interact with people and ultimately, how we feel about ourselves. Mel realized that so much of her stress, overthinking, and emotional exhaustion came from trying to manage other people. Their opinions, their reactions, their expectations. The harder she tried to control things she couldn't, the more stuck she felt. The solution: let them be who they are and shift the focus back to what you can control, your own choices and actions. What's beautiful about this idea is that it's not just another feel-good mantra. It's practical, relatable, and incredibly freeing. For anyone who's ever been weighed down by people-pleasing, fear of judgment, or the endless pursuit of perfection, this book is for you. Whether you're navigating work stress, relationship struggles, or even those everyday annoyances that drive you crazy, the Let Them theory offers a simple yet powerful way to regain your peace of mind. Mel's audience? Anyone who's tired of living for others and ready to take back their time, energy, and happiness. Through heartfelt stories, scientific research, and actionable advice, she's here to remind us that life gets a lot better when we stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Let them live their lives and start living yours. So, now that you know how Mel Robbins transformed her life by taking small, bold steps forward with the 5-second rule, let's dive into her next game changer, the Let Them theory. If the 5-second rule was about getting out of your own way, the Let Them theory is about getting out of everyone else's. It's a philosophy that's so simple it almost feels too good to be true, but when you understand it, it's like a weight you didn't even realize you were carrying just falls away. Here's the deal. Most of us spend far too much time and energy trying to control things we simply can't, especially other people. We try to manage their opinions, their moods, their choices, and even their reactions to us. Whether it's stressing about a coworker's bad attitude, agonizing over a friend's cryptic text, or twisting ourselves into knots trying to please everyone in our lives, we unknowingly give others way too much power over our happiness. Mel realized that this constant need to control wasn't just exhausting, it was pointless. And that's when 2 life-altering words came to her. Let them. The Let Them theory is deceptively simple. If someone's in a bad mood, let them. If they don't like your new idea, let them. If they want to live their life differently than you would, let them. It's not about giving up or being passive, it's about releasing yourself from the burden of trying to fix, manage, or control situations that aren't yours to handle. By saying, let them, you're choosing freedom over frustration and reclaiming energy that's better spent on your own goals and happiness. Here's the best part. The Let Them theory isn't just about other people. It's also about you. When you stop worrying about how everyone else is behaving, you get to ask a much more powerful question. What do I want to do next? That's where the second part of the theory comes in, let me. Together, these 2 ideas create a balance that allows you to let others live their lives while you take full responsibility for your own. In this chapter, Mel breaks down how this mindset shift can radically transform your relationships, reduce stress, and bring a sense of peace and clarity you didn't even know was possible. It's not just a theory, it's a tool you can start using right now to stop reacting and start living. Get ready to discover how 2 small words can change everything. Part 1 of the Let Them theory is all about understanding the mindset shift that can free you from the constant cycle of stress, overthinking, and frustration caused by trying to control things outside of your power, primarily other people. If you've ever felt like life is a game of emotional tug-of-war, This part of the book is here to teach you that you don't have to pick up the rope in the first place. Mel starts by tackling one of the most universal struggles we face: the habit of wasting our energy on things we cannot control. We've all been there, agonizing over why someone didn't text us back, stressing about how our coworkers perceive us, or bending over backward to make sure our families are happy. It's exhausting and, let's be honest, never works. Mel explains that the problem isn't the other people or their behaviors. The problem is the power we unknowingly give away. And here's the magic. The second you stop trying to control others, you reclaim that power for yourself. To illustrate this, she shares relatable, real-life examples. Picture this. Your coworker is in a bad mood, snapping at everyone in the office. The old you might obsess over what you did wrong, try to cheer them up, or let their negativity ruin your day. But with the let them theory, you simply let them be grumpy. It's not your job to fix their mood, and their energy doesn't have to affect yours. Instead, you refocus on what matters to you: your work, your mood, your peace. Another powerful example involves fear of judgment. Mel dives into how much time we waste worrying about what others think. Whether it's a parent disapproving of your career choices or a stranger's snarky comment on social media, the let them theory is your permission slip to stop caring. Let your mom have her opinions. Let that stranger criticize. Their thoughts don't define you, and you certainly don't need to carry the weight of their expectations. This section also unpacks the illusion of control. We like to believe that if we say the right things, behave the right way, or try hard enough, we can influence how others think and act. But the truth is, you can't. People will live their lives the way they choose, no matter how much effort you put in. Mel encourages us to embrace this reality and focus on what we can control: our reactions, our decisions, and our priorities. As you begin to apply the let them theory, something incredible happens. You stop reacting to every little thing. You realize you don't have to manage everyone else's emotions, and suddenly, you have more mental space, energy, and time to focus on what truly matters to you. And that's where the second part of the theory, let me, starts to come into play. This transition to part 2 sets the stage for something even more powerful. Once you stop giving your energy away to things you can't control, you're left with the exciting, and sometimes daunting, question: what do I want to do with all this freedom? In part 2, Mel shifts the focus from others to you, showing you how to take responsibility for your happiness and build a life that truly feels like your own. Stay tuned, it's about to get even more empowering. Part 2 of the let them theory shifts the spotlight squarely onto you. Now that you've embraced the idea of letting others live their lives without interference, it's time to answer an even more important question. What do you want to do next? This is where the let me part of the theory takes center stage, inviting you to take full responsibility for your actions, decisions, and happiness. Mel explains that the moment you stop obsessing over other people's opinions, behaviors, or expectations, you create space to focus on yourself. This isn't selfish, it's empowering. She frames let me as a declaration of self-awareness and self-leadership. It's about deciding how you want to respond, what you want to prioritize, and how you can align your actions with your own goals and values. Take, for example, the scenario of being excluded. Let's say a group of friends plans a weekend getaway without inviting you. In part 1, you learn to say let them plan their trip, let them spend time together. But in part 2, Mel flips the script. What's next for you? Instead of sitting in bitterness or spiraling into self-doubt, this is your moment to ask, what can I do to nurture my own happiness and friendships? Maybe you plan your own fun weekend, reach out to other friends, or reflect on what kind of relationships you want to build moving forward. Let me remind you that your life is yours to shape. Another key concept in this section is the power of choosing your energy. Mel shares a relatable example of dealing with someone who's chronically negative, like a complaining coworker or a family member who always finds something to criticize. Once you let them be who they are, let me asks, how will I protect my peace? Whether that means setting boundaries, limiting time spent with them, or simply deciding not to let their negativity affect your mood, the control is back in your hands. This part of the book also dives into the freedom of letting go of perfectionism. Mel challenges the idea that we need to do it all to be happy or successful. Instead, let me encourages you to focus on what truly matters to you. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by endless obligations or societal pressure to be everything to everyone, this concept is a game changer. It's about simplifying your life, saying no to what doesn't serve you, and fully embracing what lights you up. What makes Part 2 so powerful is how it blends self-reflection with action. You're not just learning to let go of what you can't control. You're learning how to take ownership of your time, energy, and decisions. By the end of this section, you start to see that living a fulfilling life isn't about controlling others or achieving perfection. It's about aligning your choices with who you truly are and what you truly want. As we move into Part 3, Mel takes the Let Them Plus Let Me framework and applies it to specific areas of life like friendships, family dynamics, and love. It's time to see how this theory can transform your relationships and make them richer, healthier, and more joyful. Let's dive in. Part 3 of the Let Them theory takes the foundation of Let Them Plus Let Me and brings it into the relationships that matter most. This is where the theory gets deeply practical, showing you how to navigate friendships, family, and love with more clarity, ease, and fulfillment. If you've ever struggled with difficult people, shifting dynamics, or the desire to improve your connections, this part of the book is like a personal blueprint for healthier, happier relationships. Mel starts with friendships, which she describes as one of the most misunderstood areas of adult life. Relationships evolve, friends move, priorities change, and sometimes connections naturally fade. And yet, we often resist this process, clinging to old friendships out of guilt or fearing we've done something wrong. Mel reframes this entirely. Let them drift if they're meant to. Instead of chasing friendships that no longer fit, focus on creating meaningful connections with those who align with who you are now. One powerful example she shares is a friend who repeatedly canceled plans. Instead of agonizing over it, Mel said, "Let them cancel," and redirected her energy to cultivating other relationships that felt mutual and fulfilling. By letting people show you who they are, you free yourself to build friendships that truly enrich your life. In family dynamics, Mel tackles the trickier waters of judgment and expectations. Whether it's a parent criticizing your life choices or siblings with differing values, Let Them invites you to release the need for approval. Take the example of a mom constantly commenting on her adult child's career. Let her have her opinions, Mel advises, and then choose how you respond. This doesn't mean you cut people off, it means you set boundaries, stop personalizing their behavior, and decide what kind of relationship works for you. One of the most profound takeaways here is that you can love someone deeply without needing to manage their emotions or conform to their expectations. When it comes to romantic relationships, Mel highlights the importance of paying attention to what people reveal about themselves. If someone shows you through their actions that they're not committed or compatible, let them. It's not your job to fix or change anyone, but rather to honor what you need in a partnership. Mel shares stories of readers who, after embracing this mindset, walked away from unfulfilling relationships and discovered deeper love elsewhere, starting with themselves. Perhaps one of the most moving chapters in this section is about helping loved ones who are struggling. Mel explains that many of us feel the instinct to rescue or fix others, but often, this only reinforces their struggles. Instead, Let Them challenges you to support without enabling. It's about offering compassion while still allowing others to take responsibility for their growth. She shares a heartwarming story of a father who let his daughter navigate her own mistakes while standing by as a loving, supportive presence. The result? Their relationship grew stronger, and she learned to trust herself. Throughout Part 3, Mel emphasizes that Let Them Plus Let Me doesn't mean detaching or withdrawing from people, it means showing up in a way that's authentic, kind, and self-respecting. By letting others be who they are, you create space for stronger, more honest relationships. And by focusing on how you want to show up, you take charge of the kind of connections you want to cultivate. As we move into the final section of the book, Mel dives into specific tools and strategies to apply the theory in real-world scenarios. From parenting to professional settings, the lessons of Let Them Plus Let Me are about to get even more actionable. Stay tuned, it's time to take everything you've learned and put it into practice. Part 4 of the Let Them theory is where everything comes together in practical, actionable ways. Mel Robbins shifts from foundational concepts and relationship dynamics to real-world applications, giving readers the tools they need to use the Let Them Plus Let Me mindset in various aspects of life. It's the ultimate how-to for reclaiming your energy, creating healthier boundaries, and living with more ease and intention. One of the first areas Mel tackles is parenting, which she acknowledges is one of the toughest spaces to apply Let Them. As parents, we're hardwired to protect, guide, and shape our children's lives. But the truth is, kids need the freedom to learn, fail, and grow on their own. Mel shares a relatable story about her own struggles with letting go when her son made last-minute plans for prom. Instead of stepping in to manage every detail, she stepped back, said, "Let them," and let him figure it out even if it meant getting soaked in the rain on the way to dinner. The result? He felt empowered and she felt relieved. Parenting with Let Them doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you trust your kids to navigate their own lives while being there to support them when they truly need it. The book also dives into workplace dynamics, where control issues and misunderstandings can run rampant. Have a micromanaging boss? Let them. A coworker who takes credit for your ideas? Let them. Mel explains that while you can't control their behavior, you can decide how to respond, whether that's setting boundaries, finding ways to protect your own peace, or even seeking opportunities elsewhere. By saying, "Let me," you take ownership of your professional life, focusing on your goals and growth instead of getting bogged down by office politics. Another key section addresses teams and group settings, emphasizing the importance of letting people bring their unique strengths and perspectives to the table. Instead of trying to control how everyone contributes, Mel encourages leaders to let their team members thrive in their own ways. This doesn't just reduce stress. It also fosters collaboration, creativity, and trust. For those in leadership roles, this mindset can completely transform how they manage and motivate others. Mel also introduces tools for handling high-stress situations, from family drama during the holidays to dealing with judgmental in-laws. In these moments, Let Them becomes a mantra to detach from what others say or do and focus on how you want to show up. If your relatives critique your career choices, let them. If someone insists on making passive-aggressive comments, let them. By not internalizing others' behavior, you take control of your emotions and protect your peace. Perhaps one of the most liberating ideas in this section is learning to apply Let Them to your own struggles with self-doubt and fear. Mel explains that many of us try to control everything as a way to avoid discomfort or failure. But by saying, "Let me feel nervous," or "Let me make mistakes," you give yourself permission to be human. This self-compassion is a game changer. It removes the pressure to be perfect and allows you to keep moving forward, even when things feel uncertain. As Mel wraps up Part 4, she reinforces the beauty of this mindset. It's not about abandoning responsibility. It's about shifting where you focus your energy. By letting others be who they are and taking responsibility for how you respond, you gain a sense of freedom and clarity that can transform every area of your life. In the conclusion, Mel ties it all together with an invitation to step fully into what she calls your Let Me era. It's a time to focus on what truly matters to you, build the life you want, and embrace the kind of relationships and opportunities that align with your values. This is more than a mindset, it's a way of life, and it all starts with two simple words. Let them. At its core, the Let Them theory is about one powerful idea: freedom. Freedom from the stress, frustration, and exhaustion that come from trying to control what you simply can't other people. Mel Robbins masterfully guides us through a simple yet transformative philosophy. Let them. Let them have their opinions, let them make their choices, and let them live their lives. And in doing so, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters, you. What will you do next? How will you show up for your life? That's the second part of the equation. Let me a reminder that your energy, time, and happiness belong to you. Through relatable examples, science-backed insights, and actionable tools, Mel shows how this mindset can transform every corner of your life. Whether it's letting go of comparisons, building healthier relationships, navigating workplace dynamics, or even parenting, the Let Them theory offers a clear path toward less stress and more fulfillment. It's not about giving up or walking away from challenges, it's about stepping back, recognizing what you can't control, and stepping into the power of what you can. The overall message of the book is beautifully simple but profoundly impactful. Stop wasting your life trying to manage others, and instead, pour that energy into creating a life that feels good to you. It's about allowing others the space to be themselves while giving yourself the grace to do the same. By adopting this mindset, you'll not only improve your relationships but also unlock a deeper sense of peace, clarity, and joy. So, here's the challenge for you. What would your life look like if you stopped trying to control everyone and everything? Imagine the weight lifting off your shoulders. Imagine the mental space you'd create. Imagine how much happier and more present you'd feel. The beauty of the let them theory is that it's something you can start practicing right now today. If you're ready to break free from the stress and start living life on your own terms, this book is a must-read. And if this message resonates with you, share it with someone who might need it too. Let's spread the freedom and start living with more intention, balance, and happiness. What will you let go of today? And more importantly, what will you allow yourself to embrace? The choice is yours. Let them and let me.